Hello, everyone, and welcome back to POV Reacts. We are here doing something completely different. We've never done Angry Video Game Nerd on the channel before, but just prior to us starting up this episode, me and my bro are going down a little nostalgic trip of some old consoles, some old gaming. Um, we grew up with some of the older stuff, that's for sure, classics. So one of the things that we were just talking about was the Sega 32X. So I thought this would be maybe an appropriate video and see if you guys like the video as well. As always, we're going to leave the original link down in the description. If you guys somehow have never seen Angry Video Game Nerd before, definitely check out his stuff. This guy is an absolute legend when it comes to content creation. So, without further ado, here we go.
He's gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty games that suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest gamer you've ever heard. He's the angry Nintendo nerd. He's the angry Atari Sega nerd. He's the angry video game nerd.
It's funny, he kind of looks like Jared, the Subway guy.
Kind of does.
The Sega CD had its place in history. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's a piece of shit, but it had a certain appeal. The 32X is the real deal. It sucks. Oh god, it sucks. You plop it on the top of the Genesis like they're mating. God, I mean, do you think that's enough add-ons? It doesn't even look aesthetically presentable. I mean, it's just like an ugly tumor. I mean, did they really need all this bullshit leeching on the Genesis? That poor Genesis is just thinking, oh, please, God, take this shit off me. It's like getting gang raped. Both of its slots are getting fucked at the same time. And picture this, if it was a Model 1 Genesis, it would have been even more of a spectacular
Classic.
mess. And there's metal prongs you have to insert into its slot. I mean, there's something wrong here. This whole thing is just a mountain of cockadookie. So what does the 32X do? Well, it's compatible with all your 16-bit Genesis games, but it also has its own library of 32-bit games. Oh, you gotta love this. No end labels on the cartridges. May I ask why? Here's the Genesis games. You can read
So
them.
weird.
You can see what they are. If I'm trying to pick out a game, I can just visually scan my eyeballs across them without having to do this. Oh, what's this? Oh, Virtua Fighter? What's this? Oh, Star Wars? What's this? Primal Rage? The same thing as Atari. Labeled, not labeled. Labeled, not labeled. Labeled, labeled, and not labeled. Even Nintendo's guilty of the same thing. If you
Totally.
labeled
Yeah.
the older games, why can't you do the same to the newer ones? Who came along and said, okay, we're going to have better graphics, better games, and oh, those end labels gotta go? When did this idea of simple convenience become obsolete? Now about the 32X, hooking up this bastard is just insane. Believe it or not, like the Sega CD, it has its own fucking power adapter. That's great. I mean, now you got
How
three,
many?
and trying to hook them all up at the same time is a friggin' nightmare. Let's look at the most minimum amount of effort it could possibly take. So I'm plugging it into the TV. I mean, now I obviously can't plug in all three of these things. So here's the most basic power strip you can get. Every big store sells these things. These are common. So I plug in my fucking power strip or whatever. Here goes the Genesis, the Sega CD, and bullshit. What a load of fucking bullshit. How did they fuck this up so bad? I can't even turn it the other way because it doesn't fit. Why can I only plug in 2 power adapters? Why?
I think this is something that people just take for granted now, but like everything in
Totally.
the 80s and 90s had that huge brick off the end of it.
Totally, man.
Just awful. And they would get hot too, and they would smell weird if you left the console on for too long.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Why can't these go ways? Or better yet, why the hell do they have these box things? Why can't it just be like this? Even the Atari 5200 with its huge ass box, it
There
still
you go.
ends with a normal plug. You know, that really pisses me off. I even have a camera, which I just bought this year, and it has a box like that. We live in the year 2007, and they can't
This
figure
is
out
from
that shit
07.
like that takes up too much
Oh,
room.
boy.
These fucking things should be banned. Have these, not these. So anyway, let's fire this monster up and play some Primal Rage. Great title screen, huh? There isn't even any title at all. What is this? Wait a minute. Oh, please, God, tell me what's going on. Why can't I see the characters? I'm playing Invisible Primal Rage. Alright, let's try Virtua Fighter. What the fuck? Guess what? We left something out. There's another cable which connects the Genesis to the 32X.
Jeez.
Isn't it enough that the damn thing is inserted onto the top of the Genesis? Why does it need another connector? Look at this. It's a fucking mess. And what a perfect visual analogy. Sega invented the 32X to increase the lifespan of the Genesis. And that's exactly what the friggin' thing looks like. It's on life support. So there's Primal Rage, which, to my recollection, looks nowhere near as good as the arcade.
No, not even close.
In fact, I'm not even sure how much better it looks in the Genesis version. You got all the moves, the farting, the puking, the pissing, which I can't do, so if you want to try that out, be my guest. I mean, that's what I hate about this game, the moves. They're so awkward, especially the fatality moves. I mean, just forget about it. It's always something like hold these 3 buttons and then tap some weird combination on the control pad. I don't know why they make any moves that require you to hit up, because you know what happens? You jump. I'm sorry, but when I have to download a move list and remember all kinds of combinations of buttons, that just ruins the game for me. Then you got Doom, which is one of my all-time favorites, but the music sounds like shit. Compare it to the Super Nintendo version.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Oh, it sounds so good.
Also,
So
the Super
weird,
Nintendo
eh? Like,
version has
just
more
how
levels.
different.
The only
Yeah.
thing it lacks is the graphics. They're horrible. On the 32X, they're better, but my point is, everything should
Yeah,
be
Doom
better.
on the Super Nintendo
Now you
looked
got
terrible.
Virtua Fighter.
Yeah, it
It was
did.
one of the first 3D fighting games, and it sure looks like it. I really hate how every time you jump, it's like you're on the moon. God, the control sucks, and the characters act like they have problems. Now we got Star Wars. Yeah, it's an arcade classic, but I don't know about this one. I mean, the graphics are balls. Everything looks like a polygon, and it's putting me to sleep. Like my Sega CD video, keep in mind, I'm limited to how many games I can review. I'm aware that I'm leaving out popular ones such as Snatcher on the Sega CD and Knuckles Chaotix on the 32X. But remember, if I don't have the game, I can't review it. It doesn't matter anyway because I wanted to focus on the console itself. The bottom line, the 32X sucked, and it was one of the biggest failures of all time. And just to celebrate their failure, or just for shits and giggles, they released a few CD 32X games, which require both
Night
the
Trap,
32X and the Sega CD. So if you happen to own both this pile of vomit and this piece of shit, you can mix the two together. So you can clearly see the 32X was just not worth it. And gamers were too smart to be suckered in because they knew that this piece of junk would be abandoned shortly because the Sega Saturn was on its way. Hell, it was already out in Japan, so nobody gave 2 fucks about this beast. It cost about $150 when it first came out. And the only people who bought it, they had mechanical problems. So on top of that, there were rumors that it could damage your Genesis games. And I don't even know if that was true or not. The Sega Saturn was released in the US about 6 months later. Only about 40 games or maybe less came out for the 32X before it bit the dust. I mean, what kind of marketing was that? What were they thinking? And on top of that, Sega had yet another console planned in between called the Neptune, which was scrapped pretty quickly. All it was going to be was a standalone 32X anyway, which is what it should have fucking been in the first place. So not only was the Saturn on the way, but so was the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64. Gamers knew it was a better idea to just wait, and stores were selling the 32X for about $20. I got mine at a flea market for $2.50. I'm dead fucking serious. Now, excuse me. I gotta send this fucking shit back to the fires of hell.
Oh man, Screw Attack. Holy smokes. Even that's a trip right there. Wow.
Yeah, look how
Oh,
bad that looks.
oh, dude, it looks terrible. It looks awful. I didn't know anybody that had the 32X though, like for console add-on. You one person had the Sega CD. That was about it though.
Yeah, as a kid, I don't think I knew anybody.
Yeah, actually,
Now, like I said, now I have it like in my consoles.
yeah.
I have it there. I don't think it's been turned on.
You
But yes, it's there in the collection.
know what? Something that he pointed out, and I never ever once seen it, was that the Sega Saturn got released right after that, right? I never
Mhm.
knew anybody that had a Sega Saturn. I don't even think I ever saw it in stores. Like,
Oh no, yeah,
ne-
no, I had a couple buddies that had the Sega Saturn,
oh,
but
straight up, eh?
yeah, but yeah, it was always Nintendo in our house,
Yeah, because like
like growing up, anyways.
it was so strange. I never seen a Saturn, but I didn't see the Dreamcast everywhere. Like the Dreamcast was like a solid system, so it's like they must have like made the Saturn and didn't like immediately jumped into the Dreamcast. I gotta check that out because it was like pretty sure Sega Dreamcast was their last console that they made before like yeah, I think PlayStation is what buried Sega into the ground.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
'Cause
but
when the
there was this one game that was out on Dreamcast. I remember it was like it's so bad now, but I'm trying to think what it's called here. It's a racing game. Um,
oh
I'm like totally spacing on it here. I think it was like I'll tell you in 2 seconds here. Yeah, Tokyo Extreme Racer.
okay
This was like so big at the time. Especially I remember because yeah, it was like all the Japanese cars. It was like this was like before. Like I remember like rolling around in like an RX-7 before Fast and the Furious came out.
yeah yeah
You know what I mean? Like so yeah, these games were pretty big.
yeah.
But yeah,
There's
that's all I remember about the Sega Dreamcast.
the only thing I remember from the Sega Dreamcast was they had the Sonic game. I think it was Sonic Adventure. Um, and then there was that. Oh God, now I have to look it up. There was like it was that crazy RPG game. Um, let me see if I can find it.
Yeah, Sonic Adventure.
Oh, you know what? I can actually just cut that. It's Shenmue. Shenmue. That's what it was. It was like
Hmm.
it was like
Well,
interesting because it was one of those games where it's like it actually like introduced like an in-game clock. So it was like time actually progressed in the game, and like it was one of the first games where like it was an open 3D environment, and you could only go to certain shops at certain times.
yeah,
But
yeah, gotcha.
other than it being like a very impressive game, I don't remember it being good. Like I just remember like I could never do really very much in the game, and that was about it. And it was only the only reason why I even played a Dreamcast is because like for some reason in Portugal Dreamcast was huge. So it was only for like that one like few weeks that I was there. It was like, oh, they had a Dreamcast. I thought it was so cool. And that
Yeah,
was one of the few games I'm like, what the hell do you actually do in this fucking game? It's so boring. It's like and I know it's like a classic, and I know like recently they remade it. They did like a crowdfunding thing to make Shenmue 3, I think. But like, holy crap.
crazy.
Too bad for Sega though, because man, when I was a kid, and you as well, like that was a battle. It was Sega versus Nintendo,
Yeah,
and that
but
was
I always preferred Mario over Sonic.
straight up, eh? Yeah,
Always.
yeah,
But yeah, you go over to a friend's house, you know, they got a Sega, yeah, you jump on that, right? But yeah,
yeah.
always been the Mario.
I remember
Grew
like
up on
yeah,
that.
exactly same thing. Because yeah, neighbors would have it. And it's like I remember like Sonic was cool. It was a cool
Yeah,
character.
but yeah, for myself to have my own console in the house, yeah, no, it was Nintendo all the way.
Nintendo, PlayStation, Nintendo again,
Yeah,
PlayStation again, Xbox.
yeah,
That's like
pretty
the
much.
lineage.
And then I think yeah, it was like once I reached yeah, once I hit about 34, 35, it was like I was done with consoles, man.
Yeah, like a PC gaming at that point, right?
It was PC all the way.
Yeah. Well, we went on a little tangent there, but that's the lovely thing
Oops,
about
we're
this.
still recording.
We're still
Just kidding.
recording. That's the crazy thing about nostalgia. Just everything connects back to a certain point, and gentlemen like AVGN does a good job of like pointing out the fact that some of that shit was actually really bad.
Yeah, it was really bad
Yeah,
for
and
sure.
people used to hype it up like, there was people back in the day like, dude, I got the new Sega 32X, man. You guys still got the Nintendo? It's like, dude, you suck.
Yeah, totally.
It's like I got Super Mario Kart. What do you got?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man! But thank you all so much for watching. As always, we're gonna leave the original link down in the description. If you're new here, please give us a like if you like the video. Subscribe, helps our channel grow. If you have any other suggestions for us, leave it down in the comments below. And until next time, guys, peace out and have a good one.
Peace out, everybody.